You'll find us there too. So this is a Power Hour class. For our focus today, we're going to be focusing on hip openers, and for one of our postures, we're going to be using a strap. So if you need, or if you have a strap, a yoga strap, if you don't have a yoga strap, that's okay. Like a jump rope or just a regular belt that you would wear, that would be perfect. And I practice with blocks just for sitting or just for other, another way to guide my practice. We're not necessarily using blocks today, but if you have one, go ahead and grab one. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and start. We'll start in mountain pose. Thanks for being here. So just come to a nice tall standing position. We'll take these first few moments of our practice just to tune into breath and using the breath as a way to arrive in the space and to connect to self. You might start with just some deep breaths just to be aware that you are breathing. And then you can just continue with slow, steady breaths. And perhaps breathe in a way that you can feel your breath and perhaps even hear the sound of your breath. And as you find yourself here, standing tall and in stillness, a quieting, you might create an intention for your practice. An intention, a personal intention for your practice today. Just continue with your slow, deep breathing and perhaps bringing a little bit more energy to the breath if you'd like. So a nice slow, long breath in, filling up your lungs, followed by a slow and controlled exhale. Just draw your navel inward towards your spine. That's our abdominal lock. That nice connection, awareness. Again, as you breathe in, a nice full breath in, feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. In your slow and controlled exhale, just drawing navel inward towards your spine. It's that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Awareness of center, awareness of self. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths like this as we now prepare our bodies to move. And when you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air. A nice reach, a good stretch all the way up. And exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, that's it. And just make your way down. You might touch your toes, but maybe for this first time you don't touch your toes. Maybe your hands are just landing at your shins. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs and extend your spine, creating a long, flat back. We'll exhale and come back down to your forward fold. This too can be a partial fold, not needing to touch the ground or your toes at all. Or maybe as you hold here for the first few breaths, you bend your knees a little bit more, let the back round a bit more, and maybe you can touch the ground. Go ahead and release your head and your neck. Just maybe nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Just some release in the neck. Add that to your shoulders, maybe some big circles with your shoulders. Roll them backward, roll them forward. It is a little stirring effect, like you were stirring a big pot of stew, just to get a little circling in the arms. Just getting into the shoulder joints a little bit. Just some release. Sometimes we hold quite a bit of tension in the head, neck, and shoulders and upper back. Let's do another spinal extension. So inhale, slide your hands back up to your knees or thighs, just rising up halfway. Exhale, let's come back down, forward fold. Now we'll shift the weight back into the heels. Bend your knees here like you're sitting down. Look forward. That should extend your spine. Then you can sweep your arms out. Inhale, rise up nice and tall. Good. Reaching into the air. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. You've got it. Let's just pause here for a moment. Take a breath or two. I'll be practicing with you in this class. I'll be turning my orientation so you can just see different angles. Here we go. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. And exhale, we'll swan dive forward. Good hinge from hips, bending your knees. Inhale, sliding hands up to your knees or thighs, extending your spine. Long, flat back, tabletop. On this exhale, folding enough so you can bring your hands to the mat in front of you. So just walk back or step back into plank pose. So a nice high plank position, high push-up position. That's it, nice and strong. Good energy and lengthening through the body. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Perfect. Right into your downward facing dog. If you need to, make some adjustments with your feet, even your hands on your mat. Just help settle into your pose. Feel free just to be here, hold the posture, be in stillness, or even add some movement. You certainly have the movement of your breath, but let the breath move your body if you'd like. Maybe pressing one heel down to get a stretch through the calf, then the other heel doing the same thing. And as you lift the heels, maybe feel that stretch through your toes, even the bottoms of your feet. Let your knees bend. You can bend them quite a bit, and as you do so, really, maybe let's get into the hips here too. Just kind of push your hip out to the side, then the other as you're doing this little pedaling with the feet. There you go. All right, then come back to center. Hold for a moment. Let's take a breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet back up to the top of your mat, toes forward. Inhale, rise up halfway, crown pointing forward. Exhale, fold. And your full breath in, reverse your swan dive, coming back up nice and tall, reach high. Good. This exhale will take chair pose, Utkatasana. So sitting back, sitting down into the seat. Doesn't have to be too deep. Just here, just to begin this pose. We'll breathe in, maybe a reaching out sensation. Good. Exhale, we'll dive forward, back down towards toes. We're just going to add on to the sequence. Inhale, rise up halfway. Monkey. Exhale, bending enough, hands to the mat. Step or walk, feet back into plank pose. Let's pause for a moment. You can always do that shortcut we did earlier by bending your knees, send your hips into the air, moving right into down dog, or take a breath in. Then as you exhale, finish your push-up. Come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. You can bring knees to the floor first if you need to. Inhale, either up dog or cobra for a back bend. Excellent. Then exhale into your downward facing dog. We'll pause for just a moment. We're just going to add on. We're on series A of our sun salute. We'll inhale, extend right leg up, reaching back nice and long. And exhale, let's bring the right foot up to the top of the mat. Next to your fingers there, let's turn the left heel to the floor behind you. Be sure to shift your weight back into that foot so you're more balanced between the feet. Let's rise up a little bit here. We'll inhale, float up, reach your arms up into the sky. Warrior one, exhale, fold. Good. Let's bring the hands back down, plant the hands. We'll slide the right foot back, plank pose. Finish your sequence. Again, that could be the shortcut to down dog. Or come down. Chaturanga. Here's cobra as an option for your back bend. Then exhale, pushing back, hips up, downward facing. Pause. Inhale, left leg into the air, reach back. That's it. Exhale, let's bring left foot to the top of the mat, landing there. Right heel to the floor behind you, shifting the weight back so you have weight in both feet. Let's start to rise with a breath in. That's it. Take your time if you need to. Reach up into the air. Warrior one, we'll exhale, fold. Hands back down to the mat, sliding the left foot back to meet the other, completing your sequence. Chaturanga perhaps. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Another pause. We're going to go to the floor here, so we're going to take a seat. So you can just kneel down, sit back to get off the hands, then slide off the feet. And just find the center of your mat. We're going to lie down for bridge pose. So find the center of your mat so you can lie down onto your back. Maybe a little extra padding if you need it. Maybe you have another mat to double up. So maybe 2 mats or even a blanket if you need something soft underneath you. Let's bend the knees, feet flat on the mat. Let's just pause here for a moment. Just take a couple of breaths. Feel the ground underneath you. Kind of a disengaging of the body before we re-engage. Just that awareness of how we can hold a lot of tension in our bodies, but knowing how to let that all go Lying still, breathing deeply. All right, let's add our bridge. You're going to inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty. With that engaged center, then press feet into the ground so you can lift your hips up into the air. That's it. Yeah, you can bend your elbows or bend your arms at 90 degrees like robot arms. Press the backs of your arms down into the mat. That'll just keep your upper body lifted. It might even allow you to lift a little higher if you want to go up a little higher. Make some adjustments. I'm just adjusting my feet a little to give my hips and low back a little bit more space. I can feel the backs of my arms, even the upper portion of my back, press into the ground to feel a good lift of the front body and opening of the front body. Bridge pose. Good heart opener, our back bend. Let's just take 2 more breaths. And we'll wiggle the toes forward a little bit, extend your arms into the air, just making space so we can now safely roll back down to the mat. Here we'll inhale, draw knees to chest. Exhale when you're ready, rocking your way back up to seated. Just take your time. We'll come to boat pose. Now you could do boat pose like this with heels on the floor, holding onto the legs with an angled upper body, just a straight spine if you'd like. Or maybe you're leaning back a little bit more so you can easily float your feet into the air. Maybe your shins are parallel to the ground. You can always hold on. I like to hold on just to ensure my spine is really lengthened. Breathing in to help that length, exhaling, maybe through the mouth if you'd like, to engage your center. Again, you can hold on, or maybe you're going to release and free up your hands. Good core strengthening. Okay, let's continue breathing in. We'll exhale, cross legs. If you can't roll forward, catch yourself with your hands, or just lean to the side so you can just swing or step your feet back into plank pose. Just take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, hips into the sky, and here we are. Let's continue. Inhale, extend your right leg up, straight and strong behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor behind you, shifting weight back, balanced on 2 feet. Inhale, rising, warrior 1. And our exhale, good, to warrior 2. That's it. Just settle in. Some adjustments with the feet if you need to. Checking in, being sure your right knee and toes are pointing forward. Nice energy in your arms, hands, and fingers. Then our side angle. So let's start reaching out over this right leg to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arms. Yeah, right arm down, left arm up. Yeah, that's fine to be really close to the ground where your fingertips touch the ground, or this is where blocks or stacked blocks could come in handy. But if you can see me, I'm not even close to the ground. So my fingers are just reaching towards the floor. Let's breathe in. We'll exhale to turn the body towards the ground. Fold carefully, bring your hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, pause. Once again, just that shortcut, same thing, downward facing dog. Same thing other side, inhale, extending left leg up, reaching back and away. Exhale, left foot to the top of your mat. Right heel to the floor, find your center, find that balance. Then an inhale to rise up, floating up, reach for the ceiling, and your exhale here to warrior 2. Maybe taking the feet farther apart if you want, just for a little bit more hip opening. Energy in your arms, hands, and fingers. That's at your side angle, reaching out. Let's tip it over, rotate the arms. Left arm down, right arm reaching into the air. Just a few breaths so you can get this nice spaciousness throughout the body. Good hip opener here. Opens the heart, your chest. Breathing in. And our exhale, carefully turning, returning to the ground with the hands. Let's step back, plank pose. Either that shortcut if you want, or complete the series with chaturanga, up dog or cobra, or any other back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in once you're here. As you're exhaling, walk, step, or hop both feet, returning to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, rising halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse your swan dive, maybe put a bend in the knees. Inhale, coming up tall, reaching high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Perfect. Let's pause, hold here. Let's go into some balance, so tree pose. I'm just going to mirror you. So we're going to shift the weight over into the right foot. rooting the right foot down into the floor, nice and strong there. And a nice inhale to get length in the spine, getting tall. Our exhale to connect to center. When you're ready, we'll float the left foot up. That's it. Maybe a flexed foot or just an energized foot, just so the leg is strong. There you go. And maybe the thigh is parallel to the ground. We'll swing this open, even at a slight angle is fine, or towards the left side of the room, and placing the foot on the inside of your standing leg. It could be, I always go to my calf, but you can always go lower if you want the ground to help support, or even up higher. Yeah, you've got it. And inhale, reach into the air. Good lift. Lift yourself up. Long through the sides of the body. We inhale to get that extension. We exhale to keep that connection to center, helping with balance. Yeah, that's fine. And even finding something out in front of you to focus on. Maybe you can see we have brick walls, so maybe you're looking at a speck on the brick wall. Maybe you've got a picture on the wall, even down at the ground. Excellent. Keep the arms as they are. We'll swing the left knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. A little pause. Plant the foot. Bring the arms down by your side to finish. And once you're here to finish, we'll stand in this version of mountain pose with the palms opened, facing forward, which naturally creates that shoulder roll back. Opens up through the chest. Still focusing forward, finding that little focal spot. Then start shifting your weight over into your left foot. That's it, rooting down. Feel the strength in the leg occur there. Lengthen spine, that breath in, filling up your lungs. Exhale to connect. Whenever you're ready, we'll start floating the right foot up. Flexed foot or just active foot. Thigh parallel to the ground. You've got it. Swing the knee out to the side, even at a corner, at an angle, that's fine. And then placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. Low, medium, or high if you want to place foot on the inner thigh. If you have it on the inner thigh, you can actually press a little bit more firmly into the stronger, bigger muscle. Inhale, reach up, lift, get light. Breath. Very nice. Good challenge to hold these balancing poses a little longer. And let's move. Keeping the arms extended, we'll swing the right knee forward, lift knee with the flexed foot. We'll plant the foot down. Let's bring the arms down by your side again. Let's go ahead and just spin the palms open just to finish. Take a breath. And feel free to kind of shake that all loose. Yeah, there you go. Your hands, fingers, even your elbows, shoulders. Good. All right, let's get ready to flow. So coming back to your mountain pose, either arms down by your side or hands at heart center. Whenever you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms into the air, big stretch. Exhale at swan, dive forward. Coming down, bent knees. There we are. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat, stepping back into plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga if you'd like, or that shortcut, or any variation of your flow, so we can all meet together in downward facing. Here's an up dog and an exhale to guide into downward facing. Let's keep it moving. Inhale, extend right leg into the air. Then we're going to open the hip here. Bend your knee. Bring your heel down towards your backside. Lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Feel the hip opener. It's a little rotation or a little twist that happens to open the hip. Breathe in. As you exhale, unwind. Let's step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Let's stay in high lunge. So left heel will stay lifted back there, shifting the weight back towards that lifted left heel to get the weight off the hands so you can rise up. Let's pause for a moment in this high lunge posture. Keep reaching, just like you did in tree pose. Good lift sensation, but since we're in a lunge, we want to feel like we're getting deep into this. And this kind of gets into that left hip flexor right there. Now we're going to inhale, kind of rise up a little bit so we can pivot or turn that back heel to the floor, coming down and opening, to a warrior two. Side angle, same thing, reaching out over the right leg, tip it over, rotate your arms. And if you'd like, even follow your left arm over your head, just to get a little bit more, there you go, extension through the left side. Let's breathe in. And exhale, let's turn, bring hands to the mat here. Let's step back into plank pose, finishing the sequence as you'd like. Meeting together in downward facing.
Other side whenever you're ready, no rush. Inhale, extending left leg up. We'll bend the knee. We feel the knee lifting straight up towards the ceiling, which creates the hip opener. Kind of think about how it feels when you're in tree pose and the hip opens. A little similar sensation here. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind so you can step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge so that right heel stays lifted, but do shift the weight back. It's like pulling your hips back towards the back edge of your mat so you can find that balance. Hands are light so you can easily lift. Just like tree, lift, extend, feel the lightness, and then that nice grounding kind of sensation as you lunge a little bit more deeply. And those opposite sensations might help create that lengthening through the right hip flexor. Let's rise up to unlock the hips a bit so we can easily turn, opening to our warrior two, arrive in the space, then our side angle. Rotating the arms, perhaps even allowing the right arm to reach over your head, lengthening, stretching through the right side of your body. Breathing in. Our exhale will turn, bringing hands to the mat. Same thing, step back, plank, complete your series. Pause for a moment in down dog. We're going to go back to the floor. So kneeling, taking a seat. Now here, you might want to use a strap or have a strap nearby. I'm going to use a block for this next thing too. I'll show you. Let's start in staff pose. So let's just get a little leg stretch here, extending the legs. Flex the feet just to keep the legs active. This kind of gets into the hamstrings, of course, but also just opens the body. So the hands are just on the mat by your hips. Press into the ground, but you want to roll the shoulders back so we can get this nice opening up through the upper chest. Focus is forward. It's just an L shape in the body. This is staff pose. Couple breaths. And then relax. All right, we're doing Janu Shirshasana, which is head to knee pose. And I like it because it does so many things for the body. It's a hamstring stretch, it's a hip opener, and because we're folding, you might even get a back stretch. So let's do this. Let's bend the left knee so you can bring that left foot to the inside of your right leg, maybe to your inner thigh if it can reach. I'm going to do a couple versions of this. So one version is just like this, and this is perfect. You can use your strap if you'd like, wrapping the strap around the bottom of the right foot. You don't have to use a strap. You could even just have the hands on your leg here. Now before you fold, just relax there for a second. Let me just show you a couple of versions that we'll do. So one version, of course, is strap around the bottom of the foot and we'll fold, okay? Again, this is all opening on the left inner thigh. Hamstring gets a nice stretch on the right leg here. Or you can do it without a strap, maybe you can reach your toes. Here's another variation if you'd like, just an option. I'm just going to, rather than putting the foot on the inside of the leg, I'm placing it on top. And because I have this space here, this is where I might use a block. I can use my hand or use a block right there, okay? And it just and then I fold. It just adds a new sensation, a creative sensation here. So this is just an option if you want to cross the ankle on top of the thigh. So whenever you're ready, and however position you want to be in, I'm just going to do it like this since I'm here. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhaling, a little tug of the strap. And lead with your heart and chin. You might even lift the chin a little bit so you really sense that you are leading with the upper sternum out towards your toes. Even come down just a little bit. You don't have to go too far. At first, inhale to get a little bit more length in the spine. Exhale, continue the fold. These are gradual. And over time, with each breath, maybe you're just holding where you are. Maybe you found some space and you can go a little deeper. Even lower your head, which allows your back to round as well. So only multiple sensations. Deep breathing. Wherever you are, find stillness perhaps if there's no more movement available in your body. Just let the breath do the moving. Again, a nice hip opener, nice flexion or stretch quality in your back,
and a lengthening through the hamstring. Let's just take 2 more breaths. After the second breath, if you're rounded in the back, you might start by lifting your head to help re-extend your spine, and then hinge your way back up until you're nice and tall. All right, we'll switch to the other side. So you can release the strap, you can uncross the leg if it was crossed. Let's come back to staff pose, because it's a nice neutral position. So re-extend the legs, hands by your hips on the ground. Lift to re-extend, spine, shoulders roll back. Again, just recreating space in the body. Maybe 2 more breaths. And we'll do Janu Shirshasana on the other side. So we'll bend the right knee, bring that foot to the inner thigh. I'm going to do it inner thigh this time rather than using the block. And I'll use the strap again. So same variations as your options. If you're using the strap, a nice inhale to get tall. Exhale, draw belly in, lead with your heart or upper sternum and chin. Hinge just a little bit. And even here, I already feel sensation. Just notice even those subtle changes in the body. Breathe in again. Exhale, maybe going a little deeper. Take your time. If you need to, if this is too much of a pull, either in the back of the knee or hamstring, feel free to put a bend in this knee, in the leg that's extended out in front of you. That's perfectly fine too, especially if you want to fold a little deeper. So Janu Shirshasana, just to break that down, that's a Sanskrit name for this pose. Janu is your knee. That's the Sanskrit word for knee. Shirsha is the Sanskrit word for your head. Asana, of course, is pose. Again, if you found stillness, just let the breath do the movement, and even just pay attention to all the sensations that are starting to arise in your body in this pose. Three more breaths. And if the back is rounded, let's re-extend the spine first by lifting your head, just by looking forward, that should do it, and then start to hinge your way back up until you're nice and tall. Let's come back to that neutral posture of staff pose or Dandasana, extending the legs, energize feet, hands on the ground by your hips, press into the floor because that helps the lift of the torso out of the pelvis a little bit, shoulders back. 2 breaths. Since we're still on the ground, let's do one more pose here on the floor. Maybe scoot forward so you're a little bit more centered on your mat, and then roll back down. Lying down with knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Okay, we're going to do eye of the needle pose. So you're going to take left ankle or left leg, left ankle, cross it over right thigh. This is kind of resembling what we just did. We're just doing it in a lying down position. Okay? So your left knee, you want to feel that knee really feel like it's pointing to the left side of the room, and even flex the left foot, just so that leg stays very active. Now you might feel something here and you can stay like this, but if you're not feeling much, you might want to lift your right foot, bring both legs towards yourself. This is where you thread the needle. So your left arm will go, that's the thread, so it goes through the eye of the needle in that little space, and then maybe hold on to your right shin or right hamstring, and that's the pose. And then some deep breaths. So this is eye of the needle. It kind of resembles what we just did. You can resemble it more by extending the right leg up into the air if you wanted to, something like this. We just took that seated version, now we're doing the lying down version of it. We're going to be doing pigeon pose a little bit later, and so if you know that pigeon pose isn't in your wheelhouse, because it's too much on your knee or your ankle or your hip, come to this pose instead. 3 more breaths. This one's nice because you can really have some good control over the sensation. Of course, as you bring the legs in closer, perhaps more sensation arises. All right, let's go ahead and set the right foot down. Let's uncross the legs. Hold here for this more balanced position here, a realignment of the body as you just lie in stillness. Then we'll do the other side. So we're now crossing right ankle over left thigh, the right knee pointing towards the right side of the room. Right foot is flexed just to keep the foot active. Check in to see if this feels fine, because this might be the end of the pose. You may not need to lift your left foot, but if you want or need more sensation, lift the foot. Right hand becomes the thread the eye of the needle there. Hold onto your shin or hamstring on the left foot or left leg. Breathing deeply. Check in with sensations, because I'm very aware of how tight my right hip tends to be. And so I can really feel this. So if that's the case for you, just breathe deeply. Even imagine you're sending breath into the areas that have the most sensation, or spaces that you'd like to have more opening or release. You can keep the left knee bent, or you might extend the leg so it mirrors or mimics what we did sitting in the Janu Shirshasana pose. Three more breaths. And when you feel complete, go ahead and set the left foot down. We'll uncross the leg. Let's extend the whole body. So extend the legs so they're straight, and perhaps reach your arms behind you. Let's reach in these opposite directions. Another realigning of the body. Some good lengthening. A couple breaths. And when you feel complete there, no rush to move. You can bring knees to chest, start rocking carefully forward and back. So you can rock your way up to seated so we can come back to boat pose. Again, no rush to move. Find your way to your variation of boat or Navasana. Nice angled upper body, straight as can be through the spine. We're going to lift the chin a little bit, so you might be kind of gazing kind of upward rather than directly forward. Your gaze is kind of upward. Here we go, breathing in, removing. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward. Catch yourself with your hands, step back, plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees, hips into the air. Let's get some fluid motion in the body again. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist open. This exhale, bring the right knee underneath you towards your left elbow. Left elbow just points to the elbow, doesn't have to touch it. I call this a core twist. Let's take that right leg back up into the air behind you. Reach. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Left heel turns to the floor. Feel grounded. Then rise. Inhale. Reaching into the air. Warrior. Let's reach out over the right leg here. Rotate the arms. Right arm coming down. Left arm reaching up into the air. We'll exhale, turn. Let's bring hands back down to the mat. Let's step back into plank pose. Come on down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause for a second right there. Inhale, left leg goes into the sky. Reach, bend, and twist open. This exhale will bring the left knee in underneath you towards your right elbow this time for our core twist. I can kind of get into the hips a little bit. Left leg re-extends into the air. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Right heel turns to the floor, shifting the weight back, floating the arms right up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And our exhale to warrior two. Side angle pose. Angled upper body, rotating, reaching up, reaching down, breathing in. And our exhale again, turning, bring hands back down to the mat, back to plank pose, maybe finishing the whole sequence, Chaturanga, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. When you're ready to move, start with the full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale to engage your belly, walk, step, or hop. Both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way back up nice and tall. Reach into the air. Exhale, hands to your heart. Wonderful. Good. Okay,
Okay, pause for a moment. Let's go ahead and just relax the arms and hands and fingers again. Shake it all out. Okay. So we're going to go back to some more of that leg crossing, okay? And I just call this cross-legged chair pose. Some of you know this already. Again, I'll mirror you. I'll try to. Start shifting weight into your right foot, root down. Is this how I want to do this? I have to think about this for a second. Okay, yeah. Shifting weight to the right foot. Nice and tall, lengthened spine, core control. Let's float the left foot up. Stay here, okay? Imagine you've got a soccer ball. You're going to kick the soccer ball right there, just off to the side. Bend the right knee a little, and then you can cross ankle over thigh. So you need to bend that knee to create a little shelf, and we've got a cross leg. This could be the end of the pose. You don't have to go any further than this. But maybe you're not feeling much here besides trying to balance. If you want to, just let your hands rest at your knee and ankle. Bend the right knee and sit back. Send your hips back. I'm going to turn this way. Sit back towards the back edge of your mat. Hands can easily touch the knee and ankle or heel. And you're extending spine, so you want to keep the spine relatively straight here. Sitting back and going forward. The deeper you go, the more sensation you'll create. You can even go lower if you want to. These are just options. I'm going to straighten my arms, brace them against the shin here, and even go a little lower. And I push into the shins because that helps to stabilize my upper body. And I even get more sensation in the hips. Now we're going to sweep the arms out and up, and as you do so, stand up, uncross the leg here. Lifting the knee with the flexed foot, plant the foot into the ground, arms back down by your side. So we're coming back to our mountain pose. Okay, you can shake that out if you want. All right, taking your time, break it down as you need to. Just start shifting weight into your left foot, root down, tall upper body, even finding something to focus on out in front of you. Whenever you're ready, float your right foot up. We'll kick the soccer ball, bend the left knee, cross. Right there. This could be the end. Maybe you just want to practice the balance with a little bit of hip work right there. Okay? Otherwise, start bending the knee a little bit more, sit back a little bit more, like you're doing chair pose. That's why I call it cross-legged chair pose. Long spine, heart and chin are going forward while your hips are going back. And you're just sitting and then bending the knee more to sit down deeper. Hands can just rest right here on this cross leg, maybe knee and ankle. Pause whenever you need to when you feel like, okay, that's the sensation I want. I'm going to go a little deeper by extending my arms, bracing the forearms against the shin. I'm kind of like pushing back, okay? Arms into the leg, which helps me to extend the spine. It helps me to stabilize the pose. And I can go a little deeper. Breath, wherever you are, don't forget breath. All right, let's sweep the arms out and up, standing up, uncrossing the leg, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. Let's plant the foot down, bring the arms back down, finishing. That's it, shake it all out. Even the legs, feet, ankles, toes. Because a lot of work has been happening down low there too, right? Okay, let's come back to mountain pose. Let's get another flow going. Inhale, reach into the air when you're ready. Reach high, exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey. Or flat back or tabletop. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat, walk, step, or even hop back into plank. Come right down if you like, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, follow me and listen carefully. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. As we exhale, bring this right knee underneath you towards your left elbow. That twisting sensation. You got it. Let's take the right leg back up into the air. All right, this time with an exhale, right knee to right elbow. If you need to, take a peek at me. So my knee is just pointing towards the elbow. I'm going to do another soccer kick. I'm just swinging the right foot out to the left side, and I'm setting the leg down onto the ground. This is our prep for pigeon. Okay, so angle the leg as you feel comfortable. The left knee and toes, just use it to kind of settle back, shifting the weight of the body back out of the hands, putting more sensation in the hips. Now, if pigeon works for you, hang out in pigeon. Or remember, you can flip over onto your back and do that other variation, that eye of the needle pose. Once you feel pretty good here,
Even use props if you need to. Inhale some spinal extension. Exhale, crawl forward. I need to soften this up a little bit. I'm feeling a little tense in that right knee, so I'm going to soften that up a little. That's a really good question, actually. So the question was, am I squeezing to midline in this pose? And so when you asked that, I was not engaging. And you can do either way. You can just kind of be in the posture and just kind of hang out and let everything just kind of open, which is great for this style of pose, but you could make it engaged. And yes, hug to midline. And that might mean pull belly button in. And even the inner legs, even though you have one leg crossed and bent underneath you like this, you can still hug in. You can play with this. You can do that engaging for a little bit, even your arms on the ground. Engage and then relax it. And wherever you just want to be with this pose. Really good question. Three more breaths. Take your time. You're going to rise back up onto your hands. You don't have to lift up too tall. You're maybe at this angle like this, just to rise up. Then you're going to sit off to the right side. Okay, because we're going to bring the left foot or left leg around to the front. We're coming to Cobbler's pose. I'll spin to face you. So the soles of the feet touch. Yeah, just like that. Just for a few breaths. Another kind of an alignment posture because everything's aligned with one another. Breathing in to get nice and tall. Exhale, if you want, you can fold forward. Just get a little bit more into the inner thighs. There you go. Not too long here, about 2 more breaths. If the back rounded, perfect. To re-extend spine, just lift your head, look forward, hinge from hips rising up. Just follow me as you get tall for that nice extension. Once it's lengthened, start to lean back. As you're leaning back, the knees can come in to center, then maybe lifting feet coming to boat pose. Breathe in. Moving here, exhale, cross legs, maybe rolling forward. Catch yourself with your hands, step back, plank pose. Go ahead and complete the series if you'd like. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing. All right, same thing other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist for that hip opener. Exhale, left knee towards right elbow for a little twist. Left leg re-extends into the air. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Just point to the elbow. More core work. Kick your soccer ball there, and then we'll set that leg down onto the ground at an angle. Choose the angle that works best for this side. And then use your right knee and toes crawling back to get weight away from the hands, but this puts more sensation, of course, in the hips. Find the spot that works for you. Now, let's say your hip doesn't reach the ground at all, and it doesn't have to, or maybe you're up high. Then you may want to use a block or something. Use it as a little bench, and just put that underneath your left cheek if you want. Okay? Nice inhale for some length in the spine. If you're not down already, exhale and just crawl forward. Maybe you're just kind of resting here like Sphinx on your elbows. You might even bring your head down to the ground. But if you're higher up away from the ground, then you may want to put something underneath your forehead. Maybe a block or a pillow, or even stack your fists. Just stack one fist on top of the other, and you can just rest your forehead on the hands here. And that just keeps the spine nice and long. Same thing, just kind of play with this. Maybe you just want to sit in it and just kind of sink into the posture. Let the things in the tensions in the body naturally release, let go. You might just practice some engaging there too. Maybe hugging to center line just to activate and then to let it go. Again, that nice reminder like we did earlier, knowing the difference between a tense, active body and a relaxed body. Because sometimes we're tense, but we think we're relaxed. I think yoga really helps us to distinguish the two. 2 more breaths. Move slowly as you're starting to rise back up onto the hands. Again, just maybe keeping this angle in the upper body. Sit off to your left side so we can bring this right leg around to the front. Same thing, finding some real alignment and balance in the body. Cobbler's pose here. This time, let's bring the hands behind us like this. You might even spin the hands back or fingers back. Kind of lean back, but push down into the floor. Shoulders roll back. Open the chest, lift your chin. And just by pushing down into the ground, you'll get this natural lift of your torso, which opens the hips. You might even feel like the knees kind of drop open a tiny bit more. You can even go further than this if you want. This is an option. Push into the ground, literally lift your hips off the ground, and even send your pelvis down towards your heels, back bend more, and you'll get more of this hip opener. Just an option. And then we'll take a seat. Same thing. Start to lean back, knees come together, lifting feet. I'm going to hold onto the backs of my legs just to help re-extend spine because I wasn't very straight in my back. All right, just bring the legs down, just cross your legs, just sit comfortably for a moment. Okay, if you have water, you want to get some water. Let me demonstrate something for our next little flow here. So we'll go through a flow. We're going to end up in a high lunge with the heel lifted behind us. So here's the high lunge. We're going to hinge forward because here you're kind of in this back bend feel. So we want to get out of that back bend by extending at this angle. I could just call it hinge to a 45-degree angle. Reach out with the hands and that back heel, I call it anchoring. Just anchor back with that heel. So you're moving in these opposite directions. That's a balanced position. But now we're going to shift the weight forward, putting weight to this direction, getting weight into this front foot so I can actually lift that back leg. I'm going to bend this left knee. Bring the knee forward. I'm going to turn this way. Bring this knee forward. Kick the soccer ball. Cross the leg here. I'm in a chair pose. You can keep the arms up. You can bring it down or go lower like I did earlier. Alrighty? So it's a transition from high lunge to this cross-legged chair pose. Alrighty? Okay. Let's go ahead and return to boat pose. We'll just use it as a transition. Right there. Breathe in. Here we go. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. Hip hopper, step back, plank. Just take a shortcut to down dog. Let's go right into that new segment. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Left heel stays lifted, find the center, so you can easily float the hands up into the air. There we are. So again, nice and tall in the torso, puts a little curve or arch in the back like a back bend. Let's get out of that by hinging forward about 45 degrees. Reach with the arms, back heel anchored. So this is the balance. Then we're going to change and shift the body weight forward. I'm just pushing through my back foot, putting weight in the front foot, so I can pick up that back leg, bend the knee, bring the knee forward so I can do that soccer ball kick. Yeah, off to the side, cross ankle over thigh, right there. So there's the chair pose. Arms can stay there, but if your shoulders are tired, that's fine. Bring the hands down, perfect. Just resting on the leg or in front of the leg, brace. I'm actively pushing, not too hard though, but I am pushing into the shin. Just get a little bit more into the hips there. We're going to stand up. Reach up as you stand, uncross the leg, lift the knee with the flexed foot, plant the foot, bring the arms down by your side. Good, shake it out if you want. Okay, so we're going to go through that segment. We'll do the same thing, go to the high lunge and come back to that pose. Here we go, sweep the arms into the air, reach. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, hands to the floor. Hopper, step back, plank pose. Just do a shortcut to down dog. Left side, inhale, extend left leg into the air, reach. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Shift weight back, find the center, floating arms up into the air, high lunge. Hinge forward about 45 degrees, keep extending in these opposite directions, still centered in this pose. Now we'll push through the back toes to get weight into the front foot so you can pick up the right leg, Bend the knee, bring it forward, do your soccer kick. Yeah, off to the side, cross ankle. Don't forget, that knee should already be bent. And then hands to the leg here. And maybe going a little low. Remember, you're sending your hips back, heart forward. And maybe getting a little lower, depending on how much sensation you like. Excellent. It's balanced, so you're still focusing on something out in front of you. Okay, let's take the arms out and up, uncrossing the leg, lifting knee, flexed foot, plant the foot, arms down by your side. Shake it out. All right, I think we have time to go through a whole sequence, adding all those poses. Follow me. Mountain pose. Take a breath or two before we move. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor, walk or step, or even hop back plank pose. Come down if you like, chaturanga dandasana. Even knees to the floor first if you need to. Up dog or cobra, whatever back bend you like. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. With the exhale, right knee underneath you towards your left elbow. Back up into the air behind you. Right knee, right elbow. Hold, kick the soccer ball, pigeon, set the leg down. Set the left knee down, use the left knee and toes, crawl back. Now we're not going to be here too long. We're going to inhale, exhale, crawl forward and down just for 3 breaths. Do whatever you like. This can be an engaging pose or a softening posture. After your 3rd breath, we're just coming back up onto the hands, lifting upper body, keeping at this angle. Sit over to your right side. Swing the left leg around to the front, cobbler's pose. Just hold onto the shins for a moment to help extend spine. Just sit up nice and tall here because you're going to start to lean back. Bring the knees together. Lift your feet. Boat. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Step back, plank. Stay in plank for a second. Shortcut to down dog. Bend the knees, hips to sky. Still working right side, so right leg extends up into the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. This is the new part. Shifting weight back a little bit. Find the balance. Rise to your high lunge. Find it, feel it. Hinge forward. Shift weight into right foot. Pick up the left, bend the knee, bring the knee forward so you can do your soccer kick. Cross ankle over thigh, take your seat. Stay in the chair-like position or bring the arms down. Maybe go a little lower. I'm going to go a little lower. My body's feeling ambitious. Going a little lower. Inhale, sweep the arms back up into the air. Uncross the leg. Lift the knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Keep the arms extended. Breathe in. Exhale, swan dive. We're going to go right away to the other side. Monkey pose. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Walk, step, or hop back. Plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Your variation. Good. Yes, that's it. Chaturanga. Up dog. That was nice. Downward facing dog. I like that partial push-up. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend and twist. There's a hip opener. Exhale, left knee underneath you towards right elbow for a core twist. Left leg back up into the sky, straight line. Left knee, left elbow with an exhale. Pause. Soccer kick. Pigeon. Set the leg down. Crawl right leg back. Find your center. Sit in that pocket. Inhale for some lengthened spine. Exhale, we'll crawl forward. We're holding just for 3 breaths. They can be long, deep breaths if they need to be. Take your time. Let's come back up onto the hands. Keep this angled upper body. Sit off to the left side. Bring the right leg around. Cobbler's pose. You may have to resit here a bit. Hold onto the shins or ankles so you can get that lengthened spine. Then we'll lean back, coming into boat. Bring the knees together, lift feet. We're moving right away. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. Back to your plank pose. From here, take your shortcut to down dog. Left leg extends straight up into the air behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find that center, float right on up. Find it, arriving, then hinge. Extending, let's shift weight into the left foot, pushing through those back toes. Lift that back leg, bend your right knee, bring it forward, kick the soccer ball, then cross leg. Take a seat. Arms can stay outward and extending or bent down to the shin. I'm going to try to be ambitious on this side. Touching the ground even with my fingertips. And we're ready. Inhale, stand up tall. Reach, uncross the leg, lift the knee, flexed foot, plant the foot, keep the arms in the air. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive. Monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the mat. Walk, step, or hop back in the plank. One last chaturanga. Upward facing. And your exhale to downward facing. Pause in down dog for a moment. Going back to the ground, hop forward, cross your legs, take a seat, or just kneel down to take your seat. Roll down onto your back. Bring knees to chest. Let's begin to soften once again. Maybe some deep cleansing breaths, any movements of the body. You're invited to do what you would like here. So I'm just circling my knees to get into my hips and low back. Feel free to add another hip opener, like happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose. If you'd like, even adding a twist to both sides. So we're just coming to completion, but just really adding what you would like at the end of this moving practice. So that we can use the last few minutes of our practice in Shavasana. So whenever you feel complete, just go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you, arms down by your side. And again, even just be aware, do you feel tense or engaged still? Maybe your next few exhales will help you to completely soften, completely relax. And just melt into the ground. Return to the awareness of your breath. Slow, steady breaths. Take 3 deep breaths. Feeling movement begin to return to your body. And sometime after that last 3rd breath, slowly and carefully roll onto either side of your body, just moving into a nurturing pose, holding for a moment, even being aware of your body, your breath, and maybe that intention that you created at the beginning of your practice.
And still moving in slow motion. Again, no rush to move. Start to rise and come to a seated position. Your arms and hands can just rest in your lap if you'd like, or bring hands to heart center. We'll finish with a nice full breath in and a complete breath out. Hold for a few more seconds in stillness. Nice. And as we complete our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.